Hi everybody, my name is B. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about my song obsessions from March and April. Realistically, this is the wrong name for it. I didn't really feel very connected to most of the new releases or even just older music that I listened to, with two exceptions, which I'm going to point out. Everything else was kind of more there and it kind of accompanied me throughout March and April, but the connection was, I don't know, not as deep as it usually is for me with music. If this was a normal video, most of the songs I'm going to talk about would have qualified as honorable mentions at best, but I've chosen to upgrade some of them because I would like to keep this format going. Let's start! 10. Stunner. 10's got some of the most beautiful songs in the entire industry in his discography. I don't like everything he puts out. His voice is very distinct and sometimes that doesn't work for me in a song. But when I do like his songs, I love them. There's such a specific atmosphere to them I don't think anyone else could ever recreate. It's just a genre that's uniquely 10. Stunner's like that for me. Call me for a good time, enough for me. Call me on a bad night. 10. Enough for me. Enough for me is the perfect example that sometimes stuff outside of your comfort zone can totally work for you still. I don't like artificial sounds in songs too much. Enough for me starts with some. I don't like repetition either. There's plenty enough of that here too. And still, I love this song. It's catchy, it's great. And the way the titular phrase enough for me is split within the lyrics, within the rhythm pattern, it's just so damn catchy. Stacy, Bebe. I initially really wasn't sure if I even liked this song. I felt like I didn't, mainly because of the whisper/slurring thing that Sheehan is doing in the chorus. I really don't like whispering in general, so that didn't really endear this song to me initially. Also, there's this one line, "Don't judge a book by only its cover looks," which just sounds weird to me. Obviously, it's a play on "don't judge a book by its cover," but with that phrase, or idiom really, being so well known, it's kind of, I don't know, it feels wrong to hear it in a slightly different version. But I guess I've gotten used to the whispering in particular, or maybe I haven't gotten used to it. I can't tell you if I like this now or if I don't like it, but I do think the song is definitely very catchy and I have listened to it a lot. So at the very least, it doesn't bother me anymore. And I do like how strong and assertive Yoon especially sounds before the chorus hits. That is very enjoyable. Also, just a funny anecdote, when I first played this music video, I had the German translations on for some reason, and they only translated the Korean parts, but not the English ones, which you'd assume if I really need that particular feature, I would want it to translate everything and not only the Korean bits. So that was weird. But yeah, that's Stacy's Bebe. Yeji, Air. Ah, yes. Air. Air is a bit weird to me too. I like it. It's a good song. The only section I really don't like is the bridge, or the part right before the bridge where Yeji's whispering. I understand why it's there. It makes sense given Air's theme that she's out of breath and mimics being out of breath, and that's why we get the weird whispery noises, but as we just established, I don't really like that. But, and that's a big but, despite my general liking of this song, Air is somehow musically not very unique for the most part, and that's what's tripping me up. I feel like I can point to any given part of Air and immediately come up with 5 other pop songs that have done similar things over the last couple decades. And for a debut that's a little impersonal, I've been thinking a lot about debuts for the past couple months and how there's a tendency to simultaneously expect both too much and too little from a debut in terms of impact, you know, what you can actually achieve with a debut and the definition and development of someone's artistic identity purely through the debut. Even soloists or artists in general with incredibly solid musical identities don't really debut with their identity fully formed like that, but what's odd when it comes to Yeji is that there is musically, I think visually and dancing and styling wise, they did a good job. Musically, there's not anything I can point to and be like, oh yeah, that's uniquely Yeji. They're totally going to develop her sound into this direction going forward. And that's odd. It also means going forward, I can't really guarantee I'll go back to the song in the future. Currently, I'm still playing it occasionally, but I do think that's more because of recency bias. In like 2 years' time though, should I be in that specific mood, then sure, I could listen to Air, but I could also listen to any of the other songs Air reminds me of. I'd also like to point out that maybe I'm totally wrong and they already have a signature sound for her in mind, which will become apparent when she has a comeback in the future, and I'll feel like a total dumb not having realized that that's what they were going for, but currently, I don't know. I don't really see it. Mark 1999. I really like 1999's texture, as weird as that might sound to say. They've got one motive and they're sticking to it for the most part, but it gets presented in so many different versions. It's sung, it's whispered, they've got strings in the background, multiple versions of them too, and they sound so beautiful. There's whistling, it just never gets boring. Also, finally, an in-universe explanation for Mark being in practically every SM group. He's a time traveler! But I honestly just think it's really sweet because the song's clearly very personal to him and they're doing a good job sounding both youthful and nostalgic and simultaneously sounding pretty epic and cinematic too. He really deserves that. TVXQ, Wrong Number, standing in for the Mirotic album. We're back here again, because I'm still not over the Mirotic album. And I did the math, and it turns out that if I'm continuing this as planned, we'll be done with the Mirotic album in 2 years and 4 months. Yeah. Sad thing, good thing, weird thing, I'm not even sure, and I guess what I'm saying is, shall we leave it at that for now? I am pretty interested in seeing how many appearances, if any, this album's going to make in the future though. For now, I've decided to briefly focus on Wrong Number. Wrong Number is a really serious, atmospheric song whose gravitas is kind of ruined by its surrounding everything in the most delightful way possible. That includes, but is not limited to, a rapping Jejong who compares himself to Fu Like Fish and Christmas decorations. I'm sorry, I already had to watch Amigo stages that were Christmas themed. I'm at my limit. Every time I see that, I burst out laughing. Overall, I don't know. Wrong Number is kind of the best of both worlds. It's very dramatic and mysterious and has this over everything attitude when and if you need that. But at the same time, it's kind of hilarious if you consider the surrounding circumstances, and what more could I possibly want? This song is so versatile, I can listen to it in basically any mood, and I really appreciate that. I also really appreciate the actual phone sounds in the song. I always like it when songs incorporate ambient sounds. There's a certain something to that. And that's it. Like I said, March and April were kind of not the best months for me musically, which might have had to do with me being distracted, but also I genuinely think the output, at least for my taste, wasn't that great. I hope, fingers crossed, the next 2 months are gonna be better, but judging by everything that's out so far, I'm recording this on the 20th, and I'm not sure if you can tell when I'm still kind of reeling from yesterday and the day before and just like the everything that happened. So I'm maybe a little bit scatterbrained. I'm not sure if that came across. Hopefully, fingers crossed it didn't. But yeah, I think I'm gonna enjoy the next 2 months much more than these two. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. I'll see you next time. Bye!